All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out for everybody here so everybody can join in. 1 second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good. Well, how's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing great. So today we're going to continue our discussion on day trading divergences, and today we're going to use the CCI. Okay, the CCI. All right. So before we get started, everything we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's take a look here and see where we're at. So I've got, let's pull up the SPX and see where we're at in the market. Okay, so far the monthly chart, we're seeing a doji here for January. Weekly chart got a little bit of strength in it right off of that red spinning top, right? So for a green week so far. Okay, daily chart today was pretty impressive, right? All the way intraday, right? It tested the low end of the trend box. In fact, created the low end of the trend box today, and then they recovered it, right? So so nice push up, got back above the upward trend line. So again, back to generally bullish. Of course, if we hit new highs, coming up, then we'll shift that trend line up and continue to be bullish until proven otherwise. But generally, right now, we're still holding trend. Okay, so we're back in the trend. All right, so again, to start getting bearish again, we got to get below today's low, right? And then we might start seeing this gap start getting filled. Okay, so that's kind of what we see going on here today. Generally today, I mean, pretty impressive stuff, really. We gapped down this morning, right? Just more continuation over the weekend of war news and stuff like that. And you can see off of this candle right here, this is our 15 orb, right? Our opening range bar. Right, you can see that was pretty bullish, right? Big green candle, right? Nice lower shadow, right? And then we started to get above that 15 orb, right? Now, this candle right here is kind of a defensive candle, right? It had an upper shadow, and so it's kind of an avoid to go long. But then we closed above it right here with a bit of a spinning top, but with a less of a lower shadow. And then we got a nice continuation move up, right? And then we can see we set intraday. We had this consolidation pattern. We had a symmetrical triangle that we were working on. We had an inside 15 here, which brought us a little bit higher, and then boom, we blasted out of that triangle, and then just kept on getting bullish, intraday, right? We had a bull flag right here, right? Get a little bit of a pop off of that, retested these lows here off of where that inside candle was, and then boom, popped into the close. So pretty impressive stuff there. And you can see here on the 5-minute chart, if I pull up today's levels, these are the levels that we provide to our members before every market open. Okay, you can see exactly the levels that we were dealing with today, right? So even on the 5-minute chart here, you can see after we got over the 1, 2, 3, here's your 15 orb right here, right? 3 candles in, so 5, 10, 15, right? You can see why that next 15-minute candle was a little bit funky, right? Because each one had upper shadows. But you can see that real body kept on getting closer and closer to this key level, right? That was yesterday's open. And then we finally closed above that little bit upper shadow, and they had this nice hammer right here to really kind of start things going, right? So at that point, right, we started to get that move, and we got to the next level right here. So that got pretty strong at that point, right? Then we stayed under it. Here's your symmetrical triangle on the lower time frame. We blasted out of that. Got to the next level, blasted above that level, retested it, and then back up finally to these levels up here. So pretty impressive stuff, right? So what it did today. So up 11 points. So pretty darn bullish. Now S&P futures are up 7 points here after hours, so that is also bullish going into tomorrow. So so yay, bulls, right? Still moving on up. So good stuff there. Okay, so once again today we are going to be looking at here trading divergences. Right, we're going to be looking at divergences today. We're going to be looking at the CCI, right? So the Commodity Channel Index, right? We've talked about this one several times before, and so let's take a look and see how that does with divergences compared to the RSI. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the daily chart and just pull up some examples. Okay, so let's pull up let's actually use SPX here. And go to the candlestick chart. Okay, we'll just pull this up here. Let's get a little more time on this one. Let's go a couple years back. Let's kind of see what we're looking at. Okay. All right, so there we go. Let me get a little bit messy here. I'm going to remove the studies. I'm going to remove the cloud and everything. Let me put it back later. I'll keep the inside bars up. It's okay. Okay. And then let's do a clean channel. Let's do a clean one right here. Okay, so this is what the SPX. This is what we've been dealing with, right, all the way since 2018, right? Just a big, just a big mess, right? So all through 2018 to 2019, but this huge run up since that last Christmas reversal, all the way up here, and just a huge run, right? That we've been all seeing. Okay, so let's pull up the CCI. Plot that in there. Okay, and you can see we've talked about this before. A lot of times, it's very interesting, right? So the CCI can be used in a lot of different ways, right? So a lot of times when you get over that 100 mark, you can start to see some bullish moves, right? So here you can see we popped out of the CCI here, and we got to move up, right? We popped out of the CCI here, got a little move up, popped out of the CCI here, and continue to move up, right? So that's one method of using the CCI, but it's also helpful to look for reversals, right? So in divergences. So one of the things we could see, right, is just generally, it's kind of a big term time frame, right? But when you get here, right, you start to see, bullish tops, right, higher highs. You can even look at this one here. So again, this is very, very similar to what we saw with the RSI. It's a little bit different though, right? So it doesn't plot necessarily exactly the same, right? So here, this is not this peak didn't correspond with this peak. It doesn't use, necessarily the exact same, calculations that RSI uses, right? So you can kind of see here from here to here. Right, obviously we had a big move up here, a big spike to there, and then we started to see that lower high right here, and then we drifted down. So in terms of long-term time frames, you see more essentially overbought levels than you do on the RSI, right? So I'll pull up the RSI here so you can kind of see what they look at side by side. Okay, you can see getting to those overbought positions on the RSI is a little bit more rare, right, than on the RSI. Right, so it's a little more rare on the RSI than on the CCI. So it's a little bit more short-term time frame oriented, right, to look for maybe more quicker reversals than maybe the RSI could deliver. Okay, so let's take a look at that again. So going from this time frame to this time is not necessarily is key, but looking for these moves where you hit new spikes and you see a lower high on the RSI, you can see that provided a big move down, right, or led to a big move down. Okay, again, similar here. From this peak to this peak, okay, a little shorter time frame, right? And then from here to here, lower high, and then you got to move down. Okay, so you kind of have to focus on the peaks, right? Because if you start stretching too long, right, you lose. It's more of kind of like a short-term time frame trade, right? And you can kind of see that. Right? So a couple things here that's pretty interesting, right? So when we push down here, right, into December, right, now we can see, right, this low had a lower high right there, right? And that led to, ultimately, to that big reversal, right? So it was not necessarily saying it told that the reversal was coming, but it's a nice indication over these shorter time frames. So you can see the range between these are roughly 30 days, right, on the daily chart, right? So here, this is about, 27 days. Here, 41 days, okay? So you can start to see that, which is pretty cool. So, little things, right, little areas. Here, right, to here, about 27 days out, right, so you hit a higher high here, right, and you get a divergence here on the CCI. So a little bit shorter time frames, okay? So, pretty good stuff here. You could even see this here. See the divergences here? This is a little bit lower. You can tell by the slope, right? It's about a 4-degree slope on that one. So from here to here, that led to a nice move up. So again, it's all about seeing where the difference between the two is RSI goes overbought and oversold a lot more rarely, whereas the CCI does it, can do it roughly in 30-day intervals, sometimes 40 days, sometimes 20-something day intervals, things like that. So now, what are we looking at here? So we have this peak here, right? This is about 35 days to this, but what's the difference? Well, this thing was up here, so that's not really it. Right? You can kind of go to this one here to here. That's 16 days, so that's a little bit more stretched. So to say that we're putting in a bearish divergence now in terms of time frames is pretty tough, right? Because it's only 15 days. So really, that kind of 30-day time frame is really helpful on the CCI. Okay. Also, because you see this happen a lot more often, this makes it a little more challenging to do intraday, right? So one of the things to keep in mind. All right, so if we go to the 5-minute chart or even the 1-minute chart, and we throw the CCI on here, right? So we go to CCI. here, you would kind of look for maybe like 30 bars or so, something like that. So here was pretty tough, right? We didn't have any divergences, necessarily. I mean, from here to here, you had about let's see, 15 bars, so that's not really much. Right, so you don't see it as much intraday, especially on the 5-minute chart. If we go to the 1-minute chart, if we go 1 minute, I'll go 5 days, 1 minute. Just gonna go back and scan through, see if anything looked kind of interesting here. Kind of tricky there. And remember, the important thing is always to look for candles that confirm, right? So here, let's take a look. So you're kind of moving a little bit here to here, about 28 bars. So that's kind of like quote unquote 30 days, right? And you can see here between there and there, right? You have a bearish divergence, and you're going to move down. Okay, inside candle, bearish candle, Maribozu candle right here on the 1, and then we push down from 32.42, ultimately got down to 32.35, and so with that, it's like a 10-point move. So using those kind of those 30 bar 30-day time frames with the CCI where these things can peak, right, can often help to find those type of divergences. So just a little something to add to the arsenal for intraday, but it's a pretty cool tool, right? So you can kind of start to see that. Again, I found the RSI on the 1 minute today. I was experimenting with that intraday a little bit, and I did find that to be pretty interesting. So this is just another thing to add to the toolkit that could be interesting, right? And to try to look for reversals intraday to find those divergences. So good stuff. Hope you guys find that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up by as early as possible so we can get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. We'll see if these futures can hold throughout the night. Just pulled back a little bit here to about 5 3/4. So we'll see how that holds. So good stuff. All right, so Shirley sent in a few via email. Let's get those pulled up here. Studies, edit studies. I'll take that out there. Let's put the Ichimoku back on here. Okay, and we'll throw the simple, the 200 and the 50 on here. Okay, 1 sec. Get those back on there. 200. Okay, then we'll put the 50. I'll take a look at what's going on. Okay. Ooh, that's a cool looking cloud. All right, good. All right, so let's see what Shirley has on here. All right, so we have EXAS. Okay, so Exact Sciences, looking pretty interesting right here. So we've looked at this one recently, right? We had this downward trend line here. We had a key level right here that we closed above. Watch out for that 50-day moving average, right? Found a little bit of resistance off that. Once it closed above and got into the cloud bullishly, it moved up nicely, right? And then we had this little move down. Okay, these lows here. Right, nice close today with increased volume above these levels. Just watch out for the 200-day moving average. Over that, right, we might see another spike on this thing. But right now it's also got that as resistance right here to that prior pivot. So it's got a little bit of work to do. It happens to correspond to the 200-day. Let's see if we can get it close above that, and then see if this thing is starting to work its way up. Okay, CRM. Okay, yeah, CRM today. Big news today. It had highlighted, I can't remember, it was highlighted best stocks of the year. Here we go. Yeah, Salesforce. Yeah, I can't remember what it was this morning. It was some awesome news for it, that it was great and had upgrades and all that stuff. So it just happened to be a great move here, right? Finally, CRM got above all these these high levels right here, and then did a gap and go. Once it got over these levels, got really, really strong. Right, and so you can see here on the 15 where that level was, right? So we had a nice 15 orb here, which closed above that, nice inside 15 up over those levels, right? Pull back one more time and then up again. So very, very strong on the on CRM today. Okay, plug. Ooh. Oh my goodness, getting wee type today. All right, so plug's pretty interesting. This one, this was on our 15 orb list today, right? I think it had a move up because they sold a bunch of lithium-ion batteries, right? Or had a big contract for lithium-ion batteries, got out of the cloud today, pushed over these levels right here, filled the gap. So that was a nice momentum move today on Plug. It's a cheap stock, right? It's, inexpensive, right? But these levels were pretty key here this morning. Got over the 15 orb, kind of worked its way up, a little bit choppy on the way up, but still made for a nice move. So we had that. So now you just have to be careful, right? Just be a little bit careful, right? We're running into, well, you got some levels up here, right? Fill this closing gap right here, but you have some selling pressure up here. So again, it's going to try to work its way up to that $4 level. If it can close over this 404 level, right, it could potentially start to get stronger. Okay, Facebook. Facebook looks great, right? Love how it closed over these pivot levels here strong. It tried to do it here the other day, pulled back a little bit, gave an upper shadow, and today it said, nope, I want to be above all that stuff, right? Nice increased volume today, looking pretty good. If we zoom out a little bit, right, we can see, that we're approaching the all-time highs. That's kind of the next level up. You got an open gap right here, so that could be the next target, right? Over that, then we can see all-time highs. Then we have earnings coming up this month, at the end of the month. So it could be interesting. Epic move, right? If you think about it, from way back here, back in 2018, all the way down, and just been this sloppy, nasty move up. But it's finally starting to close over some key levels. So that's looking pretty neat. And Mile, that's a nice one. We like this one. This is a good one. This is on our radar today at the close when we go live for the close. Nice close about that. Like the increased volume, and it got some nice news after hours too. You can't really see any action on it, but it did get an upgrade after hours. You can't see it right here, but I believe it was RBC. They like to do their upgrades and downgrades like right after the close, which is cool if you're on the right side of it, but sometimes it's not cool because I think it happened with TTD, not too long ago, and it was like really nice setup, breaking out of a trend line, and then they downgraded it right at the close. It's like But anyway, this has got an upgrade after hours, so this could get some strength. A little bit of selling pressure on all these levels right here, but let's see if we can get moving. Looking good, great one, Shirley, appreciate it. Delta Trader, what's happening? LK. Haven't looked at this one in a while, and I guess it really hasn't been on the radar, but it's very interesting how it kind of worked its way down. Right, this candle right here is pretty key. Right, so this was a nasty candle, but it recovered, right, and then this one right here, right from Friday, stayed within the lower shadow of this candle, right? So that's kind of showing some bearish intent on it, and it got some follow through today, right? Gap down and then push down, but it's holding this prior resistance level as support. So we will see if that can consolidate in this area and try to work its way up. Nice little gap above if it can start to get constructive. And then GSX, inside day. Okay, this is an ADR, so you're going to see this one gap around and stuff like that. But right now we're seeing kind of trend line right here. We'll see if we can hold these support levels, right? So see if we can get inside day up, close over that trend line, and try to work its way back up. And then Baidu. Yeah, Baidu is pretty interesting today. Inside day gap down. We had a lot of inside days that gap down and then started to work their way up, right? So we saw Baidu try to do that today. So it did close in the upper end of that range. So let's see if we get some bullish follow through on that. Amazon was one of those, right? But this one really just kind of just pushed through the whole thing, right? Gap down and just like boom, got through that inside day level and then closed above these resistance levels too. Nice volume today too. So Amazon's another one to look at for strength. But yeah, great ones, Delta. Appreciate it. The Dogful, what's going on? CRWD. Okay, yeah. So CRWD. Big moves, big volume ever since earnings, right? They've been coming in this thing. You could tell this is like what we talked about recently with the, the Wyckoff method, right? This really looks like accumulation here. You have this big consolidation on these levels, lots of volume coming in, and then boom, right? You break out of those levels right there. Once you get over this level here today, that was a nice momentum move up. Now we close into the cloud, and then at the end of the day, they're like, okay, we're going to do an offering, right? So it pushed it down a little bit after hours, but it's holding up pretty well with that. Okay. Well, no, they did a little offering. I think it was like a 5 million. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah. So keep an eye on that. If it can recover from that, then this thing's going to probably be pretty strong and try to work its way out of the cloud. Nice. And then Apple. Yep, Apple tagged, almost tagged, missed it by 4 cents today. Tagged 299.96. So you got really close. This is another example. Looks a lot like Baidu, actually. Gap down below the inside day and couldn't push up to the high of the inside day, but it's in the upper end of that range. So if we, futures are strong overnight and this thing looks good. It even had a downgrade this morning, too. It was a downgrade with a price target increase. It's like, oh, okay, need them, thank you. But yeah, it recovered pretty well today. It's still holding its upward trend line. It's over the pitchfork now. So see if we can consolidate a little bit here or even try to break out and get to fresh all-time highs, right? So far, so good, right? Bullish until proven otherwise. Roku, very interesting. Okay, we were looking at this one yesterday, last night, right? So we had an open gap here that got filled today. Once it filled that gap, right, it started to get really strong. It came up to the 50-day moving average and kind of found a little bit of resistance there. So let's see if it consolidates here a little bit and then gives us maybe a cloud break down the line. So that could be pretty interesting too. Yeah, my pleasure. Nate, what's going on? Good evening. Good to see you. Matthew, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy Life Apparel. Good evening. Always a pleasure. MTN, hello. Mickey D's. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, McDonald's. The Big Mac. So this is a nice one. This had an inside day too, but it did not gap down, and then it took that inside day high out today, and then it broke out of the cloud today, and then it found a little bit of resistance around the 200-day moving average, and you can kind of see what happened here. So 15. What was going on? What did I have on the daily there? C4. Let me pull it up here. There. Okay, so these are the levels this morning, right? So this is that first level, that breakout level right here. Inside 15 off of that, boom, led to the 15-hour breakout, right? And then it closed strong over that cloud level and continued to work its way up, and then found a little bit of, didn't want to come up and test the 200-day moving average today. But real nice move on McDonald's. Got over 200. It did it, right? So good stuff on McDonald's. And they really wanted to buy the fry today. That's right, exactly. Look how perfect it traded from. Oh, yeah. After the inside, very, very nice. What's next on it? 200-day moving average, right? And then if we get over that, you got the scene of the breakdown right here, which is 205.09, and then you got your gap fill. Right? So, again, in time. Earnings coming up at the end of the month. Yep, nice cloud break on it too. Minash, what's going on? Shop and Malcolm. Malcolm in the middle. So, so Shop's pretty interesting right here. We have this upward trend line, right? It broke down recently, formed a trend box, and so now we're trying to see if we can get to all-time highs again so we shift this trend line over. But very strong candle today, nice volume. Let's see if we can push, right? Right now it looks like a retest of the trend line, so just be careful with that because it might reverse off of it a little bit. But if we can get above it and push the highs, then we just shift this thing over and this thing, remains bullish. Okay? Sweet. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is really strong today, guys. This is another example of the inside day, gap down, got back over the 200-day moving average, pushed through the other side of the inside day, and look where it went to. Right to this prior, major level, right? So you can go right here, this prior gap level right here. So it came right to it today. Very, very strong move on Netflix today, right? Consistently up all day. This is one of those ones where we did that channeling technique, right? Where you see this thing going, like all day. If you go to the 5-minute here, you need to put a channel on it. This thing starts going, comes up, just buy these consolidations on it here, boom, right to there. So yeah, so looking pretty good. Again, it's got to get over this level, back into that prior gap level right there, and then above these guys, right? If we can get above these guys and be solid, we might be looking at a potential opportunity to get into these gaps here. You got kind of a little island top here too that it could get to. That's pretty interesting as well. So looking interesting on Netflix for sure. Experience and thoughts. What's up? Good evening. SPLK. Yeah, we liked that one at the close today. Just didn't get a chance to really evaluate it too much, but love the close. And yeah, it looks good. Nice increased volume, nice close, bullish overall. Amazon, of course. Nice close. Right? See if we can get some more strength. If it does, we gap up tomorrow. We may start testing some of these levels. We got a closing gap right here at 1912.45. Breakdown level 1930. Then you got some more gaps. Go Amazon. And then Plug. That was a Shirley one tonight. Yeah, so Plug's pretty good. Right, nice gap and go today, right out of the cloud. Beautiful. Gap fill. Closing gap. Tested. Nice move on Plug today. Good stuff. Seneca, what's going on? Boeing. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, Boeing looking good here. So, again, this is a bit of a morning star reversal here from the other day. Right, so you had this, candle 1, candle 2, real body, below real body here. Close above 50% of the real body and beyond. Right, and so today we got above that, but we have a couple little tweezer top type thing going on here. I'd like to see us get above that, and then we could potentially get to the scene of the breakdown there. And then PayPal. Trying, right? Every time this thing is trying, right? So close above these levels right here. Again, it's got a little bit of resistance here and here. So it's been really tricky. I mean, again, it's been tricky through here, through here, through here, through here. So who's to say this thing's ready to not be tricky anymore, right? So PayPal's challenging. But it does give some quick 1, 2, 3 day setups. Just not seeing it just yet. SFDC4S President Account Forward. Thank you for tuning in. Nikolai, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to see you. MTN, yeah, CCI, yeah, it's defaulted. Yeah, they defaulted here to 14. So let's take a look. Let's just add it real quick. So you can always change it at whichever one you like. But go back through and if you like CCI and you like the way it works, yeah, it's 14. If you like the way it works, on the 20 and it makes sense, stick with the 20, right? But whatever works for you. Right, but it's just pretty cool how it does that, and a little bit shorter time frames than the RSI for getting those quote unquote overbought levels. Yeah, so good stuff. SMBC4 is Netflix. Oh yeah, so Netflix again. Oh, it's weird how I wanted to type Netflix and I typed Nvidia. But yeah, it came right back to that gap level right there. Let's see if we can get over these guys and then try to work our way up in this big gap right here. That'd be pretty sweet. Google. Oh, thank you for bringing that one up. Yeah, that thing was incredible today. Look at that. Boom. Right over those levels here, just blasted through. Got above a macro pitchfork level. Look at that, guys. You're gonna see everything here. Remember the fib arcs and all that stuff. So maybe this thing can work its way up to the fib arc eventually, right? Maybe into this kind of 1460 zone or something like that. But yeah, big candle day, big volume, just a fast mover from the open. Tesla. Yep, look at strong. It was a strong inside day today. Still holding trend. So, getting close to approaching that all-time high again. And then Facebook, we like Facebook. Nice close above these levels here. So, yeah, looking good. Looking good. MTN, yeah, GLD. Guys, we talked about this the other day, that gold, like you literally make a living off the miners and the golds, right? By essentially when the market is the way it's been, is just buy it at the close and then short it at the open, right? Because this thing has just been every day. It gaps up, flushes down. You kind of go back. Gaps up, flushes down. You see this more in the miners, but gaps up, flushes down. Right? So that's what it's been doing a lot recently. You see this a lot more in the miners. It's like your GDX and stuff like that. So yeah, so gold right now on the daily, pretty strong, right? Fresh highs here, closed over these levels, but again, bearish candle. So see if it holds, right? It likes to gap around. So, but nice move out of the cloud on that one, almost vertical out of it. Pretty impressive. Osiris, what's going on? UPS. Let's take a look. Yes, UPS is looking pretty interesting right here. Big lower shadow at these levels, right? Lower shadow here, lower shadow here, lower shadow here. So it's kind of like some support levels here, right? And it held it pretty well today. Nice green candle, right? So let's see if it can work its way up. Maybe try to get it back up to the cloud. And then Papa, what's going on? SDC. SDC. All right, let's take a look here. So pretty interesting, big move today, right? So they're starting to like sell some stuff in Walmart, right? So they gave it a nice gap up today. It was on our 15 order list today for potential gap and go. A couple key levels right here. It did close above this guy, but not quite above this guy, right? Didn't quite fill the gap here, and found a little bit of selling pressure in that area. So big upper shadow. So this one may take some time to consolidate. See how it handles this upper shadow. See if we can give you a candle in there, right? And then maybe, do like a gap fill with some momentum out. So that could be interesting as well. Yeah, Dogful, yeah, my pleasure. Market Mike, what's going on? Oh, I know, yeah, M was a good one today. Big move. Nice accumulation, like you were saying. Nice accumulation. Start to break out here, the cloud, consolidate again. Right, and big move today at the open. Almost a Morningstar move, right? But, yeah, really impressive move today. So, again, lots of crazy levels to deal with. This one's a key one right here, the 1785-ish level right here. So that's going to be one of the levels that we want to see it get above so we can start to fill that gap. Yeah, and GE was a nice one. We a couple of our guys were in that one today. At least one. So, getting pretty strong there. Nice close the other day. Double close over this level with nice green candles, right? And got a nice move up. So, yeah, starting to do the same. Nice volume coming in, too. So, yeah, definitely want to keep on the radar. And you like WLL. Let's take a look. Yeah. We've looked at this one a couple times here. Let's see. Look at that big trend line down. Let's shift that now. Fresh low, fresh trend line. activate that low right there, right there. All right, so now, basically here it was your first minor pivot below that. You had a nice close here, not really increased volume. Get over the 50-day moving average. Here was some increased volume, then chop sideways, right? And now it's trying to work its way out of the cloud inside day right here. So see how it handles these levels right here. But yeah, definitely an interesting one. Nice. Small time, what's going on? NVIDIA? Let's take a look. Yeah, so NVIDIA's been pretty interesting right now. It's still in this trend box, right? From these guys here, so you don't really see the trend box on this one, but if we plop it up here, we got this, right? But it's getting pretty strong, right? Nice move, nice move here today, right? NVIDIA loves to put in levels, and it's there's a lot here, right? So I'm kind of next level is that 240 level, see if we can get up there, and then obviously if it pushes through these highs right here, shift the trend line over and see if this thing can stay bullish. And then Microsoft, very similar to NVIDIA there. It's been working its way up. We have our channel that we've been kind of just dealing with forever. Kind of doing its thing here, right? So it's still above the channel levels right here. And again, it's funny. You'd think it could get up here like this 172 quickly, but this thing is really not a high beta name, so it likes to consolidate and do these moves. But sometimes you catch a good move on this thing, right? Microsoft trades pretty well intraday. So nice candle here, closed above this prior resistance, and see if we can get constructive from there. Yep, and Osiris, I think we already looked at UPS for you, so good, glad you got it in there. Dave Thomas, what's happening? Roku? All right, yeah, so Roku, again, we took a look at this one, nice move today, filled the gap, got a little momentum through there today, right, and then came right to the 50-day moving average with a little bit of an upper shadow right there, right? So let's see if we can get over these highs right here. Then you got the scene of the breakdown here, 145, right? You got another, candle right here that I might want to take out that runs into resistance, but, might chop around for a little bit and then try to get out of the cloud. But yeah, nice candle today, nice volume. Good stuff. Ernesto, what's going on? Ernesto, make sure you check your email. I sent you a reminder on that. So, but anyway, yeah, let's take a look at NEO. So NEO is pretty good. They had a gap up today, but again, one of the key things is that it was running into a lot of resistance, right? A lot of selling pressure here. You see these upper shadows. You still have that macro downward trend line that we're below. And then again, even intraday, right? It had a lot of like this pre-market kind of resistance right here, right? You see all this stuff is pretty fractal, right? Here's all your pre-market levels. So it had a nice gap up today, but anytime you can't get over these levels, and if you can't get over a major level on the daily, right? We talk about this a lot, like here, right? It's a high probability for a reversal, right? We saw that today. You had your 15 orb here, chopped around for a little bit, and they gave you a little move down at the close. Okay, good. Eric, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, MA, let's take a look. Okay, so MA, looking interesting. So here's your prior resistance right here. It did close very bullishly above this the other day, right? And then doing what these, for some reason why these credit card companies do this, it pulled back, right? So now, push below the trend line, now it's back over it again with some nice volume. Watch out, it's going next dividend pretty soon, right? 2 days, okay? Sometimes that could lead to a little down move. But as long as it holds over these levels here, right, it could try to test those highs again. Good. Market Mike. Have a good night, man. Thanks for tuning in. Cloud Guy, what's up? CGC? Yeah, that had a nice little bullish move today, intraday, but is still kind of consolidating down here in these clouds, right? It held the 50-day moving average, right? A little kind of hammer-ish. Right, let's see if we can get above this level right here, this prior congestion area. Then you got the cloud. Then you got this level right here. Then you got this guy, right? So it needs, again, more news, another catalyst for it to get going again. But you are starting to see some volume coming in, especially after that guy there. So that was a nice one. And then work. Yep, nice close today. Over the cloud. I like it. I like the increased volume. Just watch out for this resistance level right here. A little bit of an upper shadow on that. If we can close above that or push above it tomorrow, this thing might get some action. We're seeing that on a lot of things. MTN. Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. TT. Yeah. Let's take a look. CRWD. Yeah, CrowdStrike. Again, good move today. Big move in the cloud. Lots of volume. Right. We're seeing that kind of accumulation. Happening here, like big volume coming in and this kind of congestion. Finally got over these levels with a big momentum move up with huge volume that came in today. Okay, so they did a little offering after hours. We're seeing a little bit of a down move there, but if that holds up well, then a push over today's high could get another move and start to work its way out of the cloud. So good stuff. Eric, thank you, man. Hope you're doing great. And good. Well, good stuff, guys. Great chart request tonight. Good discussion on CCI. I like how we kind of saw how it kind of likes to move 30 candles, 30 days, however you like to look at it, between some of the overbought levels. Kind of oscillates between there. So when you see those divergences on those, whether intraday or on the daily, it's definitely worth taking note. So hopefully that helped you guys. A tool you can add to your toolkit. And appreciate everybody for all your chart requests and ideas. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube and hit like. Because we do this every market night, so we go over different technical ideas and do chart requests. So you can always tune in at any time and just say, hey, what do you think of this chart? That type of thing. So, and also check the links in the description. Papa, yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, guys. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, get some good rest tonight, and let's see if these futures hold up overnight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.